Is that how you saw it, Matt? Sorry for my ranting, readers. I'm Red's friend, David Michaels. Matt and I have been Red's bros for over 20 years. I, for one, thought that Matt was too nice in his description of that whore, but that's just me. If you read Matt's version of what happened to the Red and Darla's marriage, then you have a small idea of what happened. Although it's a little too, never mind. Matt and I have always looked at things differently. So, this is my version of what happened. I told Red from day one that Darla was trouble, but as normal, his common sense lost out to his hormones, or in Darla's case, whoremoans. Darla is a good-looking woman with a nice body, which was all Red saw in the beginning. We kept trying to tell Red that Darla got around and around and around, if you know what I mean. You see, that was one of the little facts that Matt left out. Matt has a way of whitewashing the facts. When Red and Darla were dating, Red thought it was exclusive. He should have asked Darla what exclusive meant. The fellows and I would see her around campus with a different guy from time to time. But she had Red believing it was just a classmate or some guy she was tutoring. The tutoring she gave made me wish I had a tutor like that. We would ask Red about it. He would say it was only a friend. Darla must have seen Red coming. He must have had the word sucker tattooed on his forehead. Darla could have told him it was a storm outside on a sunny day, and he would have believed her. And when we tried to tell him what was going on, he thought we were just jealous of their relationship. So I left him to his doom, but I was still his friend, and we would be there to back him up when the time came. Then, like the fool he was, at graduation he asked her to marry him. I had to tell him later what he thought was cheering was laughter. The comment Dean Howard made was, "You can't turn a whore into a housewife." I don't know what it was about Darla that blinded Red, but she had him wrapped around her little finger. As the years went on, Darla became a lawyer, and Red was a detective for the police department. Matt told you why Red was kicked off the force, but left out the part about Darla's representing the victim's wife in a lawsuit against the city. Darla wasn't mad or scared of Red. She was worried that Red would learn that she had a lover. Darla gave him all that guff about him not being home and spending time with the kids. But at the same time, she was taking the kids to her lover's house. It's funny how Matt left that out. You see, nothing is as simple as it seems. Darla didn't give a damn about Red, and I don't think she ever did. Red was a means to an end, and as far as their marriage goes, think about it. Here, Red is working himself to death, and for what a whore wife and some ungrateful kids that left him for the next guy without batting an eyelash. The thing is, I would have expected that of Darla, but the kids, that one threw me for a loop. Some of you out there may think I'm a hater, so be it. But where any of you, and for that fact, where was Darla when Red almost killed himself? I'll tell you where Darla was. She was made love with Marty. Red wasn't trying to match that whore's income. He was the one paying all the fucking bills. Matt also left out the part where Darla was buying Marty all these expensive gifts. Marty was a big-time lawyer, so when he found out about the whore Darla was in college, he wanted a bite of the poisonous apple. It took him about a week, but after that, Darla was his willing whore. And for you bleeding hearts out there, where was your pity for Red? Here is a man that loves his kids to death. His whore wife cheats on him for years, and what do? They side with their mom. Matt also left out the part about Red giving his son his bone marrow. There are tons of little things that Red did for his kids daily, but so what? Marty has a pool and promised them cars when they got old enough. Darla didn't have to turn the kids against Red with words. Her actions spoke volumes. It took Red years to learn that they just weren't worth the fight. If it wasn't for Rob and Joe, Red would be homeless. I will never understand how a man pays his mortgage every month only to give your investment to a cheating woman. When a husband cheats, you never hear the wife say, "I'll be out by tomorrow." No, it's "Get your cheating ass out of my house," but Red just walked out on his life and let the whore have everything. After Gabe gave him the tape of the kids, that was it. I told Red to move on, fuck him. I mean, really, he doubles child support. He never misses visitation, and these little brats love her lover more. Then years later, his daughter is about to go down for dealing. Gabe gets in trouble trying to save her ass. It should have shown Red how they really felt about him. Darla wants him to come to dinner and be friends with her husband, the man that made love with her for years while she was married to Red. Just so you know, there was something else Matt left out of the story. Red didn't marry Christy. He married Marcy. Matt also left out the party where Red did show up to Thanksgiving dinner. Marty and Darla asked Red to say grace. Red thanked the big guy for him, and Darla not having more children. He said how these two were enough him and how he wished he would have used a condom. He said he wished he would have listened to all of the people who tried to tell him Darla was a slut. Then he said amen. I guess since Marty, though he was man enough to steal Darla, he could whip Red ass. He found out the hard way. He was wrong. Red hasn't talked to Darla or the kids since. A year later, Darla and Marty got a divorce after Marty caught Darla make love with a paralegal. Randy is in prison for embezzling, and Jennifer married her drug-dealing boyfriend. They have 6 kids, all of mixed race. I feel sorry for the kids. Mom and Dad are white. 2 look Asian. 1 is half black, and the youngest looks Latino, like mother, like daughter. This all happened 10 years ago. Red just turned 61. He has a 7-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter. Marcy talks to Red about everything. She learned early marriage that Red doesn't play. She went to lunch with her boss. He tried to kiss Marcy. She told him no. Then she noticed a red dot on his chest. Then it moved to her chest. They looked around to see where it was coming from. Marcy noticed Red's truck in front of the restaurant. Red was sitting in the front seat with an AR-15 assault rifle with a laser sight. Then he drove away. It was 2 days before Marcy came home. Red said something that Marcy will never forget. Marcy, I know you didn't cheat yet. If you do, you won't see it coming. And for those of you who say Red would be in jail, it wouldn't happen. Only Marcy saw him, and we saw him too. He never left work. That also was something that Matt left out. As you can see, Red wasn't and isn't a lovable cuckold. He was just a love-struck fool that paid the price for marring a slut. Don't worry, I have Matt's approval. I know the hater will have their say.